Hey guys, this is Ocean. This is going to be a long-awaited, on my part, first impression walkthrough of the HeroRise masculine archetype deck, which I don't think I will ever remember the name because it's just too long for me, but that's just my thing. And everything is going to be time-stamped down below. There's going to be a flip-through as well listed, and I'm just saying that in advance because I'm going to start this video with a rant about the post office, and not because I like talking about negative stuff, just because you will know why this walkthrough comes this late. So after the Kickstarter ended, everything was fine. This was my first Kickstarter actually, so I was very pleased with the communication. I've heard from other people that that's not how everybody does or conduct themselves during a Kickstarter. Isaac was very communicative, and he posted often. He said what was going on. So I'm a patient person. When I know that I'm gonna get something, my impatience comes when I want something, but I don't know, if I can get it. I know it's a weird thing, but yeah. So I wasn't bothered too much that things are gonna arrive later. At some point I was, because if the original schedule would have been possible, I could have gotten this deck before the 1st of July, which we know it's a post office first day of the post office apocalyptic ellipsis, whatever it's called, doomsday. But yeah, I got used to the idea that I will have to pay a bunch load of not customs, because they're like, oh, you don't have to pay customs under a 150 euros. Yeah, but you have to pay 27% value added tax and handling fee, which is ridiculous, but whatever. But in the end, I didn't have to pay that because the deck arrived, I think it was here on the 8th of August. And then it was sitting at the customs office for about a month, whichever, they were backlogged. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's sitting there. I was, very impatient. I wanted the deck. I wanted to look at the cards because, I was waiting for this deck. But then I got the notification that, I had to fill out and upload the forms so they could tell me how much money I have to pay for them. And then I did that. And then I got a notification. No, I was stalking the tracking number, and I saw the day after I filled out and uploaded all the relevant information and documentation that the deck was sent back. And I was like, nah, it can be. I mean, it was prepared. It was getting prepared to be sent back. And I was like, no, it can't be. I mean, I just uploaded everything. I was before, there was a deadline, and I uploaded everything 4 days before the deadline. And I was like, no, that's an error. And I was waiting, and a week went by and nothing was happening. And then, I don't even know, like 3 days after the supposed deadline, arrived and went, I got an email when they were like, thank you for, reaching out for our customer service. I didn't. I just uploaded the documentations. I never, sent them anything. So it was not like they were, but they worded it in a way that they replied to my request to be, like to deal with the package. And I was like, that's not what, happened. And they were like, oh, sorry, the package went back and we can't do anything. Have a nice day. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, I filled out everything in time. All you had to do is tell me how much money I have to give you for such privilege to be able to get a deck that I already paid shipping for, already paid for the deck. And I was like, I was livid. And then I called them and they were like, sorry. And the funny thing is that they are the ones who get butthurt when you get angry at them. And I don't yell at people, especially not in phones. I know and understand that it's not their fault, but this is a freaking service and I paid for it. But no, they have high horses, and they were like, you can make an official complaint, and then we're gonna, investigate. And I was like, yeah, do that, bitch. Okay, I didn't say bitch, obviously, but that was in my head. And then a few days ago, when I finally got this deck, by the way, before I got the deck, I got back their official investigations result. And it was like, we're not responsible for this error. And I was like, your only job, your one job was shipping, and you're not responsible for shipping. And like the fuck. So yeah, I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go even more further, and I'm gonna just make an official complaint somewhere else. Even though I live in Hungary, I know it's completely pointless, but I'm just fed up with them. But in the meantime, I reached out to Isaac and I asked, I was just like, can you find the package? Because it went back to China, which was quite funny because it arrived back within a few days. Like it was sent with, I don't even know, 801s or whatever. And they sorted things out with the warehouse or distributor or whatever. And they sent it with, FedEx. So it was here within 10 days, even though FedEx was playing with me as well, because they sent me a text on whatever Friday telling me that it's gonna be delivered that day, and it wasn't. And I was like, okay, it was Friday, probably it was just too much, they couldn't find the time, I'm gonna get it on Monday. And then Monday came, it was on the carrier's car, the day went by, that was nothing, it went back. And then it was just sitting there for 2 days without any update. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? FedEx, you too. But then I got a call on the 29th that they're gonna, deliver it on the 30th. And I was like, oh, thank God, finally. And like I said, I was prepared to pay a fortune because it was FedEx and Express, whatever. But they were so incredibly generous that they pay for everything. And I'm just saying that because it shows how much Isaac and all those people actually care about customer satisfaction and customer care, which is what should be the normal thing. And I'm sending these thoughts to the post office here. So yeah, I'm just freaking lucky, and I'm just so glad that I got this, because I was very excited when, I first saw this deck, that it would be an opportunity. And now rant is over, let's talk about the deck. That, by the way, I only got the pouch because, to be honest, I'm really bad with, with Kickstarters, because I only care about the deck, all the extra stuff like reading cloth and stickers, or I don't even know what was in this Kickstarter, because I don't use these things, so I don't pay attention too much. And the soft pouch was either an unlocked bonus or an added thing, I don't know, can't remember. I just wanted the deck. And the reason for it, because I always knew that my mind, or just me, I wasn't the typical feminine female. But back then, when I was growing up and when I was a teenager, I just didn't know, didn't have the right vocabulary to even know why or what that meant, because I knew that I was, I identify as female. I have zero problem with that. I never had that problem. But I knew that I wasn't, the girly girl. But I wasn't even the butch type who would be a lesbian, for example, because those were the stereotypical things that I had access to. I talked about this in my Pride video, that I'm bisexual, and I'm just mentioning that because for a long time I had no idea what I was sexuality wise, because no one talked about bisexuals back then when I was growing up, not in a forum where I could have been like, oh, there's a thing where you can like both. Okay. It wasn't an option in popular media back then. And sometimes I even, see that these days when someone is like in a relationship with one gender and then they have a new partner from the other one, or, something else, and they're like, oh, they are gay now, or, they're changing lanes, so to speak. And I'm like, what about being bisexual? But whatever. And I clearly remember one of my teachers telling me when he was a cool guy, I had a crush on him, obviously. It was, not in high school, it was more after I was older, so it wasn't a creepy thing. And he was married with kids, I knew that, and nothing like that was happening. Just I'm only mentioning that I had a crush on him because his response stayed with me because of that, because in some nuance level, his opinion mattered to me. Not too much, but you know how these things go. And I don't know what we were talking about, but I told him that I think we were talking about kids because his wife was expecting their sixth or something, big family. And, we talked about it because I have a lot of siblings. So I think that was the base of the conversation. And I don't even know why it, what came up, but I remember that I told him that my mind doesn't work how, it doesn't really work how girls' brain work usually. What I understood how males and females think back then. And I remember that he was downright dismissive, and he was like, oh no, you're gonna get older and you're gonna realize that, yeah, you want all the same things, and other girls want it, or women or whatever. And I didn't really catch or caught on the sexism back then on in these comments. I just remember that I felt like, but no, because I know myself enough, because I was 20 something, I was coming out from being sick, so I knew a lot more about myself than girls or people in general my age, 20 something. You just still figuring shit out, but I went through a lot, and in some respect that sped up the journey of getting to know yourself. So I I just knew that that's not true, but I didn't know what was the difference or how to word it. And then things went by, things I guess went by as well, but time went by, and I learned more about how feminine and masculine, and a lot of people hate those words, but I think labels in these instances are useful, because when I say feminine, you know what I mean, and when I say masculine, you also know what I mean. That we have both sides in ourselves, and it's completely okay to have a more masculine side of you in certain areas of life, because we're a mixture, and it also can change as well. So yeah, that was the first thing that I was like, oh, okay, so this is where I need to figure things out. But I had nothing really to use to help me figure out. And yeah, I know I'm talking a lot, and I'm really sorry if it's boring. You can just skip ahead. But when I saw this deck, I was like, finally something that I can use to figure out what my relationship to masculinity and my masculine side is, and also I can use this to help other people to, because I only buy decks that I can use with other people's readings as well. That it can help you to figure out your relationship with masculinity, and not just in other people, but in yourself as well. And I looked at other decks, there's the Divine Masculine, I think that's the one, tarot deck, which is a really cool deck and everything. But in tarot, I want balance. I need, feminine and masculine in one deck if it's possible. I don't like female and feminine centric decks either, because I love men, and not just like romantically, but in general I like men, and I like manly men or masculine men or whatever. I like feminine men. I just like the diversity and the colorfulness of human beings. So in tarot, I try to get things when I have all, because I'm greedy. Oh yeah, that's something else. Bisexuals are greedy. Whatever. So yeah, I didn't get that tarot deck, but this deck, it really feels like that it's going to be a very good tool that I can use. And if I could get it with a masculine archetype deck, something that mirrors, that would be the best thing ever, because then I would have both sides and I could just use them together. But That's not gonna happen, I don't think. But if Isaac is, want to do that with someone else, maybe, so that it would follow the same structure, that's a good idea. Okay, so it's a really cool box, with magnetic opening, which I really like. You can read the inside if you want. It's young. I'm not really, and this is the, part that keeps the deck. I think it can be, it can be removed. I don't think I will remove it, but who knows. So yeah, I'm not really familiar with Jung. I don't think I probably had to read something from him in university, but I can't remember. And this is a soft cover book, which I like. I like soft cover or paperback, or whatever it's called. I'm not a hardbound book fan because that's not easy for me to read. But yeah, it's a pretty nicely done guidebook. You can just check the table of contents and then how to work with the deck. Okay, so introducing the deck, working with it. There's a lot of spreads, which is really cool. I want to see this archetype within spread at some point. And then there's, cards and the characteristics, which is really cool. Okay, but that's gonna come in a more in-depth review later. It was shrink wrap, but I already murdered the shrink wrap, so I don't have to wait. Okay, it has a slide bow, but I guess that's just cardstock. It's quite similar, to be honest, to my own deck, the Zombie Oracle, a bit. Well, for some reason, I kind of expected it to be a more thicker cardstock. I'm not saying it's bad, I just, looking at it from afar, it's funny how things look differently. Okay. I have no idea about, why this is in this order, but it goes backwards. Am I bothered by it? Yeah, but I don't know, maybe 12 is not, it's how you're supposed to go towards the first or one, whatever. So we're not going to get to hang up on it. I'm just gonna go through the cards and probably not say a lot because I have no idea. I like jigsaw puzzles, so and I like the idea of integration, and with the puzzles it's a very, very cool way of saying that. This is the back. It's yellow and purple, which is an interesting combination because it kind of gives you brown if you mix those. I'm not doing it right. Okay. Number 11 is Resurrection. So yeah, I should check what these cards are, right? Because you're like, what is it? What does it mean? Did I lose the worm, by the way? Because there was a worm on the paper next to me, but I don't see it anymore. I know you're very, very interested in my worm problem. Okay. Wait, these are spreads. Okay, this is the Hero's Journey card. I knew that it was in the wrong order. We're gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna reorder things and come back. Okay, so back with the status quo, which is something that you're probably not able to keep for too long. Though the picture is, depicting something quite nice. But I probably gonna use the guidebook when we reach the individual cards to see what they are all about. This is called Do Change, which is the second one. Oh, the refusal to change. I hate change, by the way. Gathering aid. Makes sense. Oh, this is on the box as well. Crossing the threshold and gives me major Lord of the Rings vibes, which I like. Test and trials. The devil. Final approach. Okay. Interesting. Supreme ordeal. Killing dinosaurs. Because I'm not going with the dragon analogy. Because we're not hurting dragons at this channel. The reward. Oh, look at that. Amethyst. Returning home, which can be challenging for sure. Then we have resurrection and integration, which makes sense if you go in the right order. I still like this card. Okay, and I'm gonna put these away or aside because I was trying to look at, you know, where the Entitled Prince is in the book. And it's in the Sovereign, and it's one of the shadow aspect of this. And it's kind of bugging me that it's not in the right order. Yeah, I have issues. But I think, yeah, they're color coded. So I think these are the, you know, shadow sides of the Sovereign. Yeah, okay. And these are the light aspect, I guess. Let's just check. It doesn't says in the table of content, but for the Sovereign we have the Strategist, which is a really cool card. King of Swords for me. We have Speaker, the Judge. I mean, I really like how I can, you know, connect tarot. Queen of Swords. Diplomat. It's kind of swordsy. Oh, and okay, so we have a main card for the Sovereign. Now, I hate how the deck was put together, yeah, I mean, for this part, but we're figuring things out. This is the first impression work too. But yeah, it helps that this has, you know, a little golden circle around it. So this is the main card, and these are the light aspect. And we have the Entitled Prince as a shadow aspect, and also the Oppressor. So yeah, that was one of the favorite, or no, that's not the right word. One of the things that I really liked about the deck, that it doesn't just say that, hey, these are the keywords, these are the archetypes, deal with it, but it you know, it goes deeper in it, and it gives facets to it, or subreddits. And it's easy to see, you know, what card did you pull from the color coding and from, you know, stuff like this, because I don't like to spend too much time when I'm doing a reading with if I'm doing it for myself, it's okay. I can, you know, pull out the guidebook and work with it. And with this one, I will probably do that for a much longer time than normally. But when I'm doing reading for other people, I like it when I can, you know, get into the message. And okay, let's see. Here's the Lover. Okay, I have to check. Adventurer should be a positive, right? I don't mind. Yeah, so there's two shadow side for each, and we're going backwards. I don't think it matters. But so this is the Lover card, and you know, these are masculine side of someone, but it doesn't have to be gender specific, because like I said, we all have these characteristics in ourselves. And it's quite interesting, this Lover card. Could be, you know, higher self as well. So we have the Romantic for a positive side. The Comedian. I love a funny guy, to be honest. The artist. Interesting that the artist is in. I mean, it's not interesting. It's just, I guess, for me, because I'm more in the air element. So for me, art is coming from there as well, I guess. Also adventure. So what I mean is, I keep forgetting that art, is connecting to emotions. Sue me. No, don't. And we have the Lost Dreamer, a sort of Seven of Pentacles in a shadowy side, and the Addict. Ooh, wow. That's a very, very good depiction of what addiction can mean. You can't really feel that hole. And then we have a spoiler. We have the Father. That's the next one. So I guess, these big ones are the archetypes, and then we have subtypes. I don't even know what they called. The Provider is a positive, which I know a lot of people struggle with, because how gender roles and just gender idea generally changed. So I think there is going to be some time that we settle as in humanity and find a new rhythm mentor. And because I'm really hoping that we're gonna, leave behind a lot of toxic shit. Land Steward, okay. Is it a protector kind of thing, the steward? Yeah, I don't know. Caregiver, that's a really good one. And we have the Deadbeat. Isn't it something that you see a lot when, and not just, with males. It's just, I see a lot of moms on phones. And when, I can see that when the kid is like, oh, what is that? What is that? And then the mom is like, yeah, that's a tree, or not even answering because they're too busy being on social media and not paying attention to the child that they're supposed to guide and raise and stuff like that. Constant Rescuer. Oh, that's interesting. Overprotecting stuff, not letting someone grow. Helicopter Parent, I guess. And the next one, wait, where is okay, that belongs there, right? No. Yes. We have the Wizard. Just that's the last one. We have the Wizard. It's an interesting wizard. I mean, magician for sure, but more on the sciencey kind of side, which I don't mind. Teacher. Seeker. Scribe. Ooh, like that. Book. I wonder if it's what is it? Written there, or only just book in different languages. I see no Hungarian. Just saying. But hey, fountain pen. Inventor. And we have the negative. It's not as big of a difference. It's more, still darker, but not as big. The charlatan. And the know-it-all. Oh God, I hate people like that. And I think they hate that in themselves as well, because they just can't be very popular. Okay, the activist is not the main one. Yeah, we have the warrior, and see, it's very, very useful that we have these circles. Okay, I'm gonna fix that later with some marker or something. The warrior, wow, he would have zero problem in a zombie apocalypse. And the positive is the activist, the soldier, the hunter, and the athlete. And we have the coward and the aggressor for the shadow side. Interesting, you know, the coward. Okay, so this is the deck. And I bet that this part was shorter than my rant. I'm really sorry, but you know, I wanted to give an explanation of why is this walkthrough is up so late. It's not the deck, it's not, you know, the Kickstarter, it's just the Hungarian post office. But yeah, I hope this was useful. You can still pick up a deck from Isaac on his website, I think, or Etsy shop. I'm gonna link something relevant in the description, or at least his Instagram if the deck is no longer available, but I think it is. And yeah, like I said, I think it's a very, very useful and usable deck to figure out issues with masculinity. You don't have to be a male to use this deck. I certainly am not. But yeah, I have high hopes, and hopefully, you know, my 6 months in is gonna come relatively soon. But you know, I don't know how I'm gonna use it yet, so I'm not saying shit. I'm not giving promises. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. You can find ways to support this channel by buying me spaceship parts if you would like to, if you think that the content that I'm putting out there is useful. You can find all the information in the description alongside with how to and where to buy my zombie oracle. It's just the beginning of October, so it should hopefully arrive before Halloween if you order it right now. But if you order later, it's still a good deck, so you should do that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!